What's going on, everybody? If you've been following along, you know that me and Brandon have been doing a winter refresh on the Elise for the last few months. It's taken us a little bit longer than usual, but we're about ready to go back together. We got the front and rear clam ready to be bolted up. They're just sitting on there right now. We haven't had an update in a couple weeks because there's an oil cooling line that goes in between this cooler and the one over there. And we just couldn't get the right fittings. It kept leaking, but luckily we got that all fixed up. But for today, this is going to be a really short video. I should not even have to make it, but a lot of people are posting on the forums and on Facebook asking how to install their Garw dash, or Garw dash. Garw? Garw? G-A-W-R, right? How do you say that? Gawar. Like Beavis and Butthead. Gawar. Anyway. Yeah, those people. I'm going to show you how to install it now. This looks kind of confusing. There's a lot of USB plugs. You have your harness here, but it's actually a lot simpler than it looks. It takes 30 minutes. Anybody can install it really quickly. My interior's taken apart quite a bit right now, so it's not going to be the exact play-by-play on how to do this, but I'm going to give you a good idea about how to pull your dash and how to get the new one spliced in, up and running. Like I said, it should take you maybe 30 minutes. If you can tie your shoes, clip your toenails, if you can blink without thinking about it, you can actually put this in. Okay, step number one. This should be common sense, but you don't want to forget it, so I'm gonna add it in anyway. The first thing you're gonna wanna do, turn your stock dash on and make sure to get a photo of your mileage. Okay, so once you get that new screen in, you're going to be able to go in and add your existing mileage to it. I'll put a link down in the description directly to the website that shows you how to get in and do that, and how to do lots of other customization, like adding your own custom boot logo. I can even link to a few that I'll make to hand out to anybody that might want one. Okay, for all of you, that step is going to be a little different than me, simply because, as you can see, all my interior is out of the car. If you've never pulled any of your dash panels off before, you're going to find out pretty quickly that each one of these goes in a very specific order. For instance, to get these two pieces off, you're going to have to pull the airbag. I know mine's on there right now, but I've already set it back in there, but as you can see, it's loose. Before you can get your dash cowl off, you're going to have to pull off these two panels, and it's also helpful if you pull your blinker stocks. Now mine are cut because I have aluminum ones that fit over it. So pull these two panels off, and then we can get to your cowl. One thing I forgot to mention in the last step, you're going to have a steering column cover here that's held on by two screws, and it's going to wrap around at the top of this. You're going to have to take all of this off, as well as your two panels here, before you can get your cowl off. You can see it's held in by two little retainer clips. You just want to tug on it, and it's going to pop off. You have another two on this other side. Now that your cowl is off, you're going to be able to remove the actual gauge cluster. On my car, there was 4 7mm nuts that held it in place. I've already removed those. And that's going to let you simply pull it off. Once you pull it off, make sure to disconnect these two clips, and we'll move on to the next. Okay, so there it is. That stock gauge cluster is out of the car. Here it is next to the 7-inch Garw. Still don't know how to say it properly. I'm just gonna say it's Garw. I had an 8-inch in the car before, and it did not fit underneath the stock binnacle at all. I couldn't even modify it to make it fit, and so that's why I've gone back with its new one. Now he provides two different harnesses. This first one has your Wi-Fi adapter, and then 2 empty USB ports. These are for updating the screen when he releases updates, and for uploading your own custom boot screens. This is what we're going to be looking at right now. Each of these is pinned out for something different on the car, like oil pressure, oil temperature, things that the computer doesn't read by itself. I'll put a link in the description that shows you what each of these is and how to hook it up, but the main things we're going to be looking at right now are the yellow, blue, and red wires. Our stock cluster is out of the way, which gives us access to both of the OEM plugs. This white one is the one we're going to be worried about today, because you have to splice in these 3 wires into our stock harness. Now this is the only splicing that you have to do at all. Everything else is plug and play. Now we have a red, a blue, and they call it orange, but it's actually, to me, another red wire. At least on my car it's red. It does have a little yellow stripe running down it. Those correspond to these 3 marked wires, red, blue, and yellow. At this point, you're ready to start plugging stuff in and testing. The original plug with the blue clip goes directly into your new one. This plug's no longer used. That's why it's spliced into here. As you can see, it plugs into the back of the dash. The other port is used to plug in your harness that has the USB ports and the Wi-Fi adapter. You can go ahead and plug your battery back in. Whenever one of your doors is open, the screen is going to read the current battery level. Now you can go ahead, turn the car over, make sure everything's working. After you turn the car on, if everything's working just right, you're ready to reinstall everything and go. However, if you do drive with the top off, I do have one optional step, and that's getting an anti-glare screen protector. You're going to have to custom cut it for this, but it's really easy to do, and it's going to not only protect your screen, but it's also going to make it much easier to read when the top is off the car. It's going to be pretty hard to get the edges perfect. Screen protectors are hard to cut to fit. However, once it's in the car, you're not going to be able to see the edges anywhere. They're going to get covered up by the rest of the cowl. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit more, try to fix a few of these edges, but I'm going to put it in and we'll see how it looks. So that's it. Told you it's pretty easy. It'll probably take you maybe an hour from start to finish. It's really not that bad. When your doors are open, you get this nice readout of your battery's current level. This isn't the battery of the screen, it's wired in directly, it's your actual battery. Turn the key over, you'll see their loading screen. You also can upload a new one with one of the USB ports. It's real easy to do, and I'll put a link to how to do that in the description. We'll go ahead and turn the car over. It's real time, the refresh rate's great on it. It's one of the best options available.
And we die like men.
Yep, seatbelt light never works. But yeah, it's one of the best screens available. You could, of course, do something with the OBD2 port, but it's not going to be nearly as streamlined, easy to do, or nearly as fast as it's. The aim dash is a really good solution if you're doing lots of tracking, but if this is just a fun car for you and you want something that really updates the interior of the car, this is the way to go 100% of the time. I hope this was helpful. I know it was very quick, it wasn't very in-depth, but it is pretty easy to do. I just thought I would throw this out there for anybody that might be searching. I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you all next time.